Good morning, students, and welcome to today's class on linear equation in two variables. We are doing this revision, and it is day 2. Let us quickly revise on what we did in the last class. So we saw the definition and the standard form of linear equation in two variables. What makes the linear equation a linear? Because we look at the exponent. The exponent is always 1 for a linear equation, right? And two variables means that there will be two variables, two alphabets, two unknowns in that equation. So here is the standard form. It's ax plus by equals to c, where a, b, c can be any numbers and can be any real numbers, of course. And very important, a and b should not be equal to 0. That makes it a standard form of linear equation in two variables. Next, we saw how to identify if the given equations are linear equation in two variables. So we saw a few examples like how do we check. So first thing is we look for the exponent, the power, the degree that should be equal to 1. The degree should be equal to 1 and there should be only two variables. There should be only two alphabets, two unknowns, right? Like the first one we see here, the degree is 1 and there are two variables. So this is a linear equation in two variables. But if you look at the second one, you see the degree here is 2. The degree is 2 and there are two variables, but still since the degree is not 1, we say this is not a linear equation in two variables. Okay. These were another few examples. Like in the first one, you can see the degree is 1, but there are three variables. So this is not a linear equation in two variables, correct? Likewise, the third one, the second one also, there are three variables. We want only two variables and the degree should be 1. So you have to remember these very simple points, like just two things you have to check. First thing, the degree should be 1, and second, there should be only two variables, two unknowns in it. Okay. Then we saw what is the meaning of simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations means there are two linear equations in two variables. So instead of looking at one equation, when we are looking at two equations at a time, we say they are simultaneous equations. So here you can see these are two examples of simultaneous equations. Okay, so first one has the variable s and t. First is an example of simultaneous equation in the variables s and a t. The second example is example of linear equation or simultaneous equations in the variables p and q. So when we are looking at two linear equations in two variables, we say it is simultaneous equations. Okay, and then we saw a very nice method on how to solve these simultaneous equations, that is the elimination method. And what exactly do we do in this method? We either add or subtract the equations so that we eliminate any one of the variable, right? We do some operations and then we add or subtract so that any one of the variable, any one of the term, it gets crossed out, it gets eliminated. Okay, like we saw very simple examples in the last class where we just had to add or subtract the equations. Like here you see the first one, already the x terms are same, 7x and minus 7x. So the x terms were same, we just had to add these two equations so that the x variable gets eliminated, because 7x and minus 7x gets crossed out to give it a 0, right? So we saw very simple examples. Like the second one here, you see 3s and 3s. The S terms are same. S terms are same, so either add or subtract to eliminate it. And what we did, we subtracted so that 3s and a minus 3s gets crossed out, correct? It gets eliminated. And once a variable gets eliminated, we can simplify and solve to get the other variable, correct? Likewise, you can see one more example here. Which terms are same in this third example? The Q terms, 4Q and 4Q. Since the Q terms are same, we either add or subtract. And what was good? If we add, that would give us a 8Q. What would we do? We subtract, correct? Subtracting 4Y or 4Q or the Q terms, they get eliminated. So that was very easy. Now let us look at a little difficult problems. Not difficult though, but problems which have few more steps. So here, let us move to the board. And that is the first question. 3x plus y equals to 9 and 5x plus 4y equals to 22. That is the first question. Now here, first check which terms are same. Are the x terms same? X terms are 3x and 5x. What are the y terms? Those are y and 4y. None of them are same. So what should be done? We multiply any one of the equation with a certain number so that the terms become same. So if we look at the first equation has a y and the second equation has a 4y. What can we multiply to this 5 to get a 4y? So multiplying a 4 would help, right? So the first step here is multiply equation 1 by 4. So multiplying equation 1 by 4, what do we get? So we are multiplying by 4 and multiplying the first equation by 4, that means we are multiplying this 4 to each and every term, okay? So 3x times 4 is equals to 12x plus y times 2 plus 4y equals to 4 times 9, that is 36. This is equation 3. Now compare equation 2 and equation 3. Do we see the y terms are same? So one is 4y and other is also 4y. What should be done? Should we add or should we subtract? So subtracting will help, correct? So we write out the step subtracting equation 2 from equation 4, from equation 3. So we are subtracting equation 2 from 3. All right. So that will be 12x plus 4y equals to 36 minus 5x plus 4y equals to 22. And now when we are subtracting, remember a very, very important step. When we are subtracting, we have to change signs of the bottom row. The bottom row is this one, 5x plus 4y equals to 22. We change the signs, minus, minus, minus. Correct? All the signs change. And what do we get? So plus 4y and minus 4y gets crossed out. We are left with 12 minus 5, that will be a 7x, which is equal to 36 minus 22. That will be 14, isn't it? And we are left with 7x equals to 14. So 7x equals to 14. Now we have to find x. So get rid of the 7. 7 is in multiplication. It will move to that side. It will become division. So 14 divided by 7, x equals to 2. And once we get the variable x, we substitute it back in any one of the equations, any one of the first two equations. So let's substitute it in equation 1. So substituting x equals to 2 in, let's say, equation 1. Equation 1 is 3x plus y. It's 3x plus y, that is equals to 9. So it will be, we are replacing x with 9. We are replacing x with 2, sorry, plus y equals to 9. So 3 times 2, that is 6, plus y equals to 9. And we have to solve for y. So get rid of this 6. Plus 6 will become minus 6. Y equals to 9 minus 6. Right? So y equals to what? We get y equals to 3. And that gives us the solution. So the solution is always written in the form x comma y. Solution, it's always written in the form x comma y. So that's 2 comma 3. That is the solution. Okay, I hope this is very clear. What are we doing? We are multiplying any one of the two equations so that the y term or the x terms, they become exactly same. And then adding or subtracting, we can find any one variable. Substituting that back in any one of the equations, we get the other variable. Isn't that simple? Only 3 steps. So let us try one more problem. There you can see that's 2x, this is second problem, 2x plus 7y equals to 10 and 3x plus y equals to 6. So what are the x terms? A 2x and 3x. They are not same. Y terms, 7y and a y. Again, they are not same. So what should be done? Can we make x terms same? Yes, we can. Like if you multiply this 2x with 3, this will become a 6x. And if you multiply a 2 to the 3x, that would become again a 6x. So x terms are same. But instead of working on two equations, what if I multiply only the second equation with 7? Y times 7, that will give me a 7y. So check, both the terms will become same. So which is better? Is it making x term same or y term same? We go for making the y term same, because just multiplying the second equation by 2, we can get the y terms same. Sorry, we multiply it with 7, isn't it? So multiplying equation 2 by 7. Always write out the operations that you are performing. So multiplying by 7 in equation 2, what do we get? We multiply each and every term of this equation 2 by 7. So 3x times 7, that would give us 21x plus 7y equals to 42, isn't it? And then look at, this is equation 3. Look at equation 1 and equation 3. The y terms are same. Should we add or subtract? Should we add or subtract? Both signs are same. So 7 and 7 will make a 14. So we subtract to get rid of the y terms. We subtract to eliminate the y terms. So subtracting equation 3 from 1 this time. So equation 1 is 2x plus 7y equals to 10, and equation 3 is 21x plus 7y equals to 42. And now we are subtracting. So remember, whenever we are subtracting, we should change the signs of the bottom row. So minus, minus, and this will also become minus, correct? So 2 minus 21, that will be minus 19x. The y terms will get crossed out, and here we are left with 42 minus 10. That will be how much? So 42 minus 10 is 32, and we give sign of greater number. So greater number is 42, that's minus 32. What will be the next step? We have got minus 19x. We have got minus 19x equals to minus 32. We have to get rid of the minus 19. So minus 19 is in multiplication over here. It will move to the other side. It will become division. So x equals to minus 32 divided by minus 19. Negative and negative will get crossed out. So we got x equals to 32 divided by 19. 32 over 19. That is the value of x. Now, what will be the next step? We substitute this value of x in any one of the equation. So substitute x equals to 32 divided by 19 in any one of the equation. Let's use equation 2. So that will be 3x plus y equals to 6. Replace the x with 32 divided by 19. So that will give us 96 divided by 19 plus y equals to 6. And then to find y, we have to shift this fraction to the other side. It is in addition, it will become subtraction, correct? So subtracting 96 over 19 on the other side, what do we get? That will be y equals to 6 minus 96 divided by 19. Okay, and then we cross multiply to subtract. So that will be 114 minus 96 divided by 19. How do we subtract the fractions? So subtracting the fractions is like cross multiplying. We are cross multiplying. So it's 6 times 19 minus 96 divided by these two terms. Divided by product of the denominators, right? So 6 times 19, that will be 114 minus 96 divided by 19. So subtracting, what do we get? 114 minus 96. That will be 18 divided by 19. Yes. So don't be afraid of getting the answers in fractions. No worries at all. You can get answers in fractions. Okay. No need to bring it into decimals also. And the last step, we write the solution. So what is the solution? It's always in the form x comma y. So the solution can be negative. It can be a decimal. It can be fraction also like this. So we have got the x coordinate on the x point to be 32 by 19, and the next is 18 by 19. This is the solution. And we move to next question. So here, this is the third question. Now, a very important step here. First, we have to arrange the equations in standard form. And what is the standard form? It's ax plus by equals to c. We have to get it in this form. So first equation, you can see first equation is 2x minus 3 equals to minus 5y. The y term is here. We need to shift this y term to the other side. The constant is on the left. We have to shift the constant to the right side. So minus 5y shifts to the other side. It will become a plus 5y equals to minus 3 will shift to the other side, it will become plus 3. This is our first equation. Okay, so what are we doing? We are shifting the terms to get the equation in standard form, which is ax plus by equals to c. We are shifting the terms to get it into standard form. So first equation is in standard form. Now look at the second equation. It is minus 2y equals to minus 3x plus 1. We want the x term first. We want the x term first. This is minus 3x on the right. We move it to the other side. It becomes plus 3x. So the equation will be 3x minus 2y equals to 1. This is equation 2. Now I want all of you to try this problem in your books. Okay, all of you should be trying it out with me. Okay, simple addition and subtraction questions, simple multiplication and division. We are not doing anything very difficult. It is very simple, isn't it? We got two equations and now we are going to solve it. So somewhere some multiplication, some addition, subtraction is there. So instead of just watching me solve it, use paper pen and start working it with me and check if you're able to follow. Try to do the steps before me. Try to do it in advance. All right. There may be few of you who have got the answer to this already. Okay. So let's continue. The first equation is it's 2x plus 5y equals to 3, and the second is 3x minus 2y equals to 1. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. And now we compare the x terms and the y terms. Which of the terms are same? None of them. The x terms is 2x and 3x. The y terms is 5y and minus 2y. Okay. So what should be done to make the terms same? Let us work on making the y terms same. Okay. So 5 and a 2. We look at their LCM. So it's like the least common multiple. So if you look at the table of 5, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. If you look at the table of 2, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on, which is the least common multiple. So that's 10. It means we should multiply some number to 5y to get a 10. So what do you multiply? We multiply by 2. That would give us a 10y. Likewise, what should be multiplied to 2y to get or to make it a 10y? So 2 times what is 10? 2 times 5 is 10. So we are multiplying the second equation by 5. Okay, so this is a very easy method to check what should be multiplied to make the x terms or the y terms same. So we can multiply by, we can find the LCM first and then accordingly multiply to get that LCM. Okay, so what are we doing? We are multiplying equation 1 by 2. That will give us 2 into 2x, that is 4x, plus 2 into 5y, that is 10y, equals to 2 into 3, that is 6. This is equation 3. And now get equation 4. So we are multiplying equation 2 by 5. Very important to mention the steps, to mention the operations, like what we are performing, multiplying, subtracting, okay, whatever, substituting. You should always put it up in steps. And then multiplying 5 to the second equation, that is, we are multiplying each term by 5. So 3x times 5, that will be 15x, minus 2y into 5, that will be 10y, equals to 5 times 1 is 5. This is equation 4. All right. And now compare the x terms. The x terms are 15x. The x terms are 15x and 4x. And what are the y terms? The y terms are 10y and 10y. So that's so easy. We have seen that. We have made the y terms same. Now the y terms, one is plus 10y, other is minus 10y. Think, should we add or should we subtract? If we subtract, that will become a 20y. And if we add, it will become a 0, isn't it? So adding both the equations, so adding equation 3 and 4, what do we get? So 4x plus 10y equals to 6 and 15x minus 10y equals to 5. We are going to add these two equations. So plus 10y and minus 10y gets crossed out. We are left with 19x, which is equals to 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. I hope you all are solving it with me. So we are left with 19x equals to 11. And to find x, we have to get rid of this 19. 19 is in multiplication. It will divide on other side. So x will be equal to 11 over 19. This is the value of x. Again, no worries if it is in fraction. No worries at all. Okay. And what will be the next step? We substitute this value of x in any one of the equations. Which equation? You can use any of them. Let's use equation 1. So substituting x equals to 11 over 19 in equation 1. So when we are substituting it in equation 1, what happens? Equation 1 is 2x plus 5y equals to 3. We are replacing the x with 11 over 19 plus 5y equals to 3. So 2 times 11, when we are multiplying fractions, multiply the numerator with numerator and the denominator with denominator. There is no denominator here, it's actually 1. 2 is same as 2 over 1. Okay, so when we are multiplying fractions, we multiply numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. So this will be 22 over 19 plus 5y equals to 3. And now we get rid of this 22 by 19. We shift it to the other side, it will become subtraction. Correct? So 5y equals to 3 minus 22 over 19. And what is the process of subtracting fractions? To subtract the fractions, we cross multiply, isn't it? We can cross multiply like this. And then the denominators. So let's look at the subtraction. This is 1. So 3 times 19, that will give us 57 minus 22 divided by 19. And what do we get? That will be a 35 over 19. 57 minus 22, that is 35 over 19. And this is 5y over here. Now we have to get rid of this 5. What should be done? So 5 is in multiplication. We shift it to the other side. It becomes division. 35 upon 19 divided by 5 is same as, division. When we are dividing fractions, we convert the division to multiplication and flip this fraction. We flip this second fraction. So 5 upon 1 will become 1 upon 5. And then we cross out the like terms, or we can cross out the common factors. So 5 times 1 and 5 times 3, we are left with y equals to Oh, sorry, that was 35 over here. That was 35 over here. Just a minute. Yes. So students are raising their hands, and in between there was some pop-up on 35, so I couldn't see it. This is 35 over here. So cross out the common factors. So 5 times 1 and 5 times 7. So we are left with y equals to 7 over 19. This is the value of y. And here you can see the value of x. So what will be the solution? Solution to be written in x comma y format. X is 11 over 19 and y is 7 over 19. That is your solution. Okay, remember the answer can be in fraction, it can be negative also, so no worries at all. But when you get an answer in fraction, be very careful when you are substituting it in any of the equation, because when you are working with operations on fractions, at that time when you add or you subtract, make sure you cross multiply. Okay, either you cross multiply or you can make the denominators same and then proceed, right? Make the denominators same. So these rules of addition, or these rules of operations on fractions, is very important. Secondly, when you're multiplying, you multiply the fractions numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. And lastly, when you're dividing two fractions like we did over here, when you're dividing the fractions, you need to convert the division to multiplication and flip the second fraction. Okay, you do the reciprocal of the second fraction. So it will be, you switch or you flip the second fraction. So remember these operations, remember these rules on operations of fractions, and then you won't get it wrong. Let us move to next question. This is question 4, and this is very easy. Why? Because you can see the coefficient of x is not same, but the coefficient of y is 1y and 3y. So whenever the coefficient is 1, you can simply multiply that with the other coefficient. So 1y, you can multiply the first equation with the coefficient of other y. So this is a 3 over here. That means multiply the equation 1 with 3 and check both the terms will be same with different signs, isn't it? So the step will be multiplying equation 1 with 3. Everyone try this problem out with me. Really, it is very easy. Multiplying equation 1 by 3. So that will be 6x plus 3 times 2 is 6x, 3 times 1y is 3y equals to 3 times minus 4, that is minus 12. This is equation 3. Now look at equation 2 and equation 3. So the y terms are same. Look at it. The y terms are same. Minus 3y and plus 3y. So what should be done? Should we add or should we subtract? Adding will cross them out, isn't it? Plus 3y and minus 3y makes it a 0. So adding those two equations. So the step will be adding equation 2 and 3. So we are adding equation 2 and 3. Second equation is 5x minus 3y equals to 1. And third equation is 6x plus 3y equals to minus 12. We are going to add these two equations. And just check, the plus 3y and minus 3y will get crossed out. This is 6 plus 5 is 11x equals to 1 minus 12, that will be minus 11. And what will be the next step? This 11 shifts to the other side, so x will be minus 11 divided by 11. That gives us x equals to, yes students, I think you have already got it, x equals to minus 1. And then what will be the next step? Substitute. substitute this value of x in any one of the equations. So substitute x equals to minus 1 in, let's say, equation 1. Equation 1 is 2x plus y equals to minus 4. So replace the x with minus 1. We are replacing the x with minus 1. And this will become minus 2 plus y equals to minus 4. Now we have to get rid of this minus 2. Minus 2 is in addition over here, or it is minus sign. It's not in addition, just check here, it's minus 2. So we use the opposite sign, correct? So minus 2 on that side will become a plus 2. So y equals to minus 4 and a plus 2. So y equals to what? That will be minus 2. That gives us the solution. So we have x equals to minus 1 and y equals to minus 2. So the solution minus 1 comma minus 2. That's how we get the solution. So the three steps, let me quickly put up the three steps over here. Step 1, multiply equations to make any one variable term same. And then step 2, you either add or you subtract to eliminate any one of the variable. And finally, step 3, substitute or replace or put the x value or the y value in any one of the equations and get the solution. And finally, don't forget to put the solution in proper format, that is x comma y format like this. So step 4, you put it in the standard form, write the solution in standard form. Step 4, write the solution in standard form, always x first and then a y. Okay, let us look at one more problem. And how many of you got this solution right? Quickly raise your hands. I think the earlier one, many of you had got it right. Correct? That's so nice. Fine. Now let's work on this question together. That is question number 5. Look at the x terms and the y terms. So x terms is 2x and a x, and y terms is 3y and 2y. So which terms can you make same? Either you multiply both the equations to make the y terms same, or very easy, here the x is 1. So whenever the coefficient is 1, you multiply it with the other coefficient. So we multiply the equation 2 by 2. That will give us a 2x here, correct? So we are multiplying equation 2 by 2. So 2 times x will make it 2x plus 2 times 2y will make it a 4y equals to 2 times 7, that will be 14. This is equation 3. And what is the next step? This is step 1. Multiply something to any of the equations or both of the equations to make the x terms or y terms same. We have got the x terms same. Check equation 1 and equation 2. So now either you add or you subtract. Since both the terms, they have same sign, we have to subtract. So subtracting will eliminate the x terms. Subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. So you write the third equation first, and then the first equation, and now you subtract. Subtracting means we have to change signs of the bottom row. So change signs of this bottom row. Plus 2x minus 2x will get crossed out. we are left with 4y minus 3y, that will become just a y. 14 minus 11 will be 3. That gives us y. Once we get y, we substitute it in any one of the equations. So let's say we work on equation 2, because here the coefficient of x is 1. You can use any equation. Let's say, what if we use first equation? So substituting, or put y equals to 3 in equation 1. So 2x plus 3y equals to 11. What is y? Y is 3. So replace it with 3 here. And that will give us 2x plus 9 equals to 11. What should be the next step? Plus 9 moves to the other side. That will become a minus 9. So 2x equals to 11 minus 9. 2x equals to 2. And x will be equal to 2 is in multiplication. We move it to the other side. It becomes division. So 2 divided by 2, x is equals to 1. And then finally, we put it as a solution. We write it in x comma y format. So solution, x is 1, y is 3. So solution is 1 comma 3. I hope this is very clear and you are able to get the solutions or the answers right. How many of you got it right? Very good. Very good. Now let's work on equation. Yes. So let's take up this question. It says, this is number 6. It says 5x minus 3y equals to 8. And the second equation is 3x plus y equals to 2. Okay, that's the question. And which terms can we make same? Multiplying equation 1 or multiplying equation 2. So check here, the coefficient of y is 1. That means we will multiply this equation with the other coefficient, that is a 3. So multiplying equation 2 with 3, what do we get? So the first step, multiply equation 2 by 3. So 3 times 3x, that will give 9x, plus 3 times y will give 3y, equals to 3 times 2, that is a 6. Yes, and then this is numbered as equation 3. Now compare equation 1 and equation 3. The y terms are same. What should be done? Should we add or should we subtract? Since both the signs are different, we can clearly add and cross them out. So adding 1 and 3, adding equation 1 and 3. So 5x minus 3y equals to 8 and 9x plus 3y equals to 6. Add them up. What do you get? The y terms will get crossed out. 9 plus 5 will make it a 14x equals to 6 and 8, that will be 14 again. So 14 is in multiplication over here. It moves to the other side, that will be division. So x equals to 14 divided by 14, and I guess you all have already got it. X equals to 1. What will be the next step? Put this value of x or replace x with 1 in any one of those equations. So which equation would you like to use? Let's use equation 2. Equation 2 is 3x plus y equals to 2. X is what? X is 1. So we replace x with 1, and that will give us 3 plus y equals to 2, and y will be equals to 2 minus 3 plus 3 becomes negative 3, and we are left with y equals to minus 1. So the solution, final step, write a solution in x comma y format. So it is 1 comma minus 1. The solution is 1 comma minus 1. I hope you are all are able to follow. The questions are very easy and only standard 3 steps. Multiply any of these equations to get the y terms or x terms same, add them or subtract them to eliminate one of the variables, and finally you replace what you got in any one of the equations to get the other variable. Correct? Let us work on one more problem. Yes. So let's take up this as 3x plus 2y equals to 29 and 5x minus y equals to 18. Okay. Now, everyone, this is the last problem. So try it out with me. Let's see how many of you really get it right. Equation 1, first we number the equations 1 and equation 2, and then compare the x terms and the y terms. So x terms is 3x and 5x, y terms is 2y and minus 1. So both of them are different. What should we do? Look for the term with coefficient 1. So easily we can multiply the equation 2 with the coefficient of other variable, that is 2. So multiplying equation 2 with 2. Right? And what do we get? So multiplied with 2, 2 times 5, that is 10x, minus 2 times y is 2y, equals to 2 times 18, that is 36, like this. And this is equation 3. Now look at the two equations, equation 1 and equation 3. The y terms are same. Should we add or should we subtract? Should we add or should we subtract? Plus 2y and minus 2y. Adding it will make it a 0. Subtracting will make it a 4y. So add, right? We are adding equation 1 and equation 3. So mention it nicely like this. Adding equation 1 and 3. So 3x, that is 3x plus 2y equals to 29, and 10x minus 2y equals to 36. Adding them, what do we get? So plus 2y minus 2y gets crossed out. We are left with 10 plus 3, which is 13x, equals to 65. And x will be equals to 65 divided by 13. So we have got the value of x, that is x equals to 5. 5 times 13 is 65. Correct? So the last step now, replace this value of x in any one of the equations. Replace x with 5 in any one of the equations. Let's say equation 1. I see the hands are raised, so I guess you already have got the answer. That's great. So replace x with 5 in equation 1. That will be 3 times x plus 2y equals to 29. And we are replacing it with 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2y equals to 29, plus 15 will become minus 15. So 2y, it is like this, 2y equals to 29 minus 15. That will give us 2y equals to 14, and y will be equals to 14 over 2. Very good. I guess you all have already got the answers. And I see participants raising their hands. So y is equals to 7. That gives us the solution. And the final step, the last step, to put up the solution or Yes. We write it in x comma y format. What is x? X is 5 and y is 7. So the solution is 5 comma 7, like that. So once again, quickly if I recap the steps. First step, step 1, multiply the equations or any one equation to make the y terms or x terms same. Then step 2, either add or subtract to get to eliminate one of the variables and get one value of x, like here. And then step 3, replace that value of x or y in any one of the equations to get the other equation, to get the other variable. Substituting x, we got y here. And the last step, that is step 4, you get the solution in x comma y format. Write it in x comma y format with the brackets and the numbers separated by a comma, like that. Isn't that easy? Just simple 3 to 4 steps and you get the answer. So that's all for today, students. I guess you all have understood how to solve simultaneous linear equations in two variables by elimination method. Do practice few questions from your problem set and see you in the next class. That is tomorrow.